You know, over the course of 20 years in Hollywood, I've done a lot of war movies. In fact, there probably isn't a war movie that you've seen and remember that somehow or another I wasn't involved in. Platoon, Saving Private Ryan, Band of Brothers, and 30 or 40 more. But City of Fire, this film that I intend to direct, is different. Yes, I know you've heard that 100 times. Everything's different when we want your money. Everything's different when we want your support. But this is a story that brings, for the first time, I think, some clarity to what we're involved in this global war on terrorism. This is a story that tells how the character of the war changed. Over the years, we've seen American soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, all involved heavily in combat that Americans are not necessarily so good at. It's something we don't really understand on the battlefield. So how can we understand it at home? How can those of us who are citizens of the country that our American fighting men and women represent, how can we understand? How can we make an informed opinion? Well, we can do it through the popular media. Now look, I wish it were that we could get everybody to consume a complete daily newspaper, but that's not the nature of our society these days. Today, it depends on the popular medium. We can communicate better with a film than we can in practically any other medium. And that's why we're approaching City of Fire. Now, as I direct this film, the image that I have in my mind is trying to not only entertain, but at the same time, we want to sort of elucidate. We want to shine the light of our cameras on how the nature of this war is different than anything we've ever seen. The common denominator, the through line, is the courage, the dedication of our American men and women in uniform, this all-volunteer force that we've put into an asymmetrical, not typical form of warfare for the first time. What's happened here? Well, we started out with a conventional conflict, us versus Saddam Hussein and his minions. But the war morphed. It became a different thing. It became partisan. It became ethnic. We had Sunni Muslims fighting Shiite Muslims. We had outside agitators, and in the middle of all of that, an Iraqi government was trying to form. They were voting for the first time in decades. And we had American men and women in uniform caught in the middle, in essentially a quandary where they had to make it up as they go along, where they had to figure out how to handle this incredibly involved problem. And that's what City of Fire is about. We give you an opportunity to see how the war changes, and on the fly, in the midst of combat, how this one group of American soldiers, 1st of the 23rd Infantry, the Black Hawk Company, we see it through their eyes, we feel it through their guts, we sense what it is to face this sort of uncertainty on the battlefield. Yes, I understand. Every battlefield is uncertain. I've been on a number of battlefields myself. That's the kind of feeling I'm going to bring to this picture. I understand that uncertainty. But what Americans don't understand, what we intend to tell, is how these great young men and women figured it out. How they, despite the fact that they were faced with this uncertainty, despite that no training in the world could really tell them how to fight this war, they figured it out. And who are these folks? Well, they're John Doughboy, they're Freddie GI, they're Mac Marine, they're us. They're young Americans who understand what it's about to serve and sacrifice. Why? Because their country said, we need you. Uncle Sam did that I need you thing, and these young American men and women responded. Now, who's telling that story? Where are we seeing that story? Charlie Foxtrot Entertainment will tell you the real story. Yes, we need help. Yes, we need your support. Yes, we need your investment. Yes, I need you to help me bring that vision to life. I can do this, and I can do it better than it's ever been done before.